I'm really excited to share the $10,000 mistake with you. This is one of my favorite parts because it's so simple yet so powerful. It could easily be called a $100,000 mistake or $1,000,000 mistake because there's no telling how much investors are losing by overlooking this one simple thing. I call it the $10,000 mistake because I'm going to show you one specific example where an investor lost a $10,000 deal. This mistake is showing sellers your exit strategy, telling them up front you're going to rent to own their house or showing them you're going to wholesale their house. I would never do that. That would be stupid, you might say. You would be right. But investors are doing this without even realizing it. They do that by having one website that they send everyone to, buyers and sellers. You might think the sellers will click on the seller's page and the buyers will click on the buyer's page. The reality is the sellers don't understand what you're doing, how this works, and why you're buying. They're skeptical. They're curious. They will click on everything. If you have everything on one site, you're going to scare them off. Sellers don't understand real estate investing. Many of them will leave without ever contacting you. If you're selling homes on a rent-to-own basis and they see that on your site, they're going to think, I don't want to rent out my house. They don't understand how the process works. They need to have it explained to them in terms that will make sense to them. The same goes for selling wholesale. If your seller sees that you're flipping houses for a $10,000 profit, they're going to think you're scamming them. They're getting ripped off. You're never going to hear from them. You lost the deal before it ever started. Here's the $10,000 deal breaker. One investor recently posted about a deal he lost on biggerpockets.com. He negotiated with the seller, arranged the deal. Next, he lined up his buyer, set up a closing date. The buyer wired the money to the title company. Everything looked great. He was going to make over $10,000 off this deal. What could go wrong now? It was the day of closing when the deal fell through. Why? He had given the seller a business card with his website. He listed her house as a wholesale deal on the site. The seller went to the investor's website and saw her house listed there. When she saw how much money he was going to make off her house, she canceled the deal. She refused to go to closing. The investor lost $10,000 on that deal alone. How many other deals did he lose that didn't make it that far? How many sellers were scared off before ever contacting him? Don't let sellers see your buyer pages. Your seller's site should have only information for sellers, no links for buyers. Don't put property listings on your seller site. Keep the sites separate for buyers and sellers. There are two different ways to do this. You can have two completely separate websites where each one has its own domain name. For example, your seller site is mysellerwebsite.com and your buyer site is mybuyerwebsite.com. Another option is to have just one domain name and have the home page be your seller site. If your domain name is mysellerwebsite.com, then put the buyer page at mysellerwebsite.com/buy or mysellerwebsite.com/deals. You get the idea. The key is that your seller site has no links to your buyer pages. They're completely separate. Don't reverse this. Don't put your buyer page as the home page and your seller page as mybuyerwebsite.com/sell, because sellers will still go to the main page. It's not as critical for buyers not to see your seller page, but you don't want sellers to see your buyer pages. These are some problems that I wanted to solve. So the real estate investor sites I've designed are made to keep sellers and buyers separated from the start. These sites are the product of my own experience, as well as working with investors for over a decade. I'd appreciate it if you'd take a tour through these sites with me, and I'd be extremely grateful to you for telling me how I can make these more useful to you and your business. What would make your life easier? Or what do you wish your current website would do for you? I highly value your feedback. It's a comprehensive package that includes 6 sites in one: a motivated seller site, a wholesale buyer site, rent-to-own buyer, commercial, land, and property listings. Here's the motivated seller website. It's professionally designed to make a great first impression. One longtime investor and leader of a real estate investment club recently told me how impressed he was by these sites. He's been investing for a long time, and he was amazed how these sites were developed with not only an understanding of real estate investing, but also an understanding from the seller's perspective. He said, "This site has everything we need all in one place." Notice the menu at the top. The only pages listed are Home, Frequently Asked Questions, Sell Your House Now, and Contact Us. You can add on other pages, but notice that there are no links to your buyer pages. Sellers can't click around and find information about your exit strategies. Probably one of the first things you'll see is the big Get Started Now button on the right, which takes sellers to the contact form where they can send you the details about their property. On the left side there's a video. This is already professionally recorded and ready for you to use. It explains to sellers how you can help them. On the right is a free report you can give away. This is designed to capture those sellers who may be reluctant to give you all the details about their property just yet. They're interested but not ready to commit. They enter their name and email to get this free report. The content has already been created and is ready for you to use immediately. It's also customizable if you want to make changes. And you get their contact information. So you can follow up with them to try to take them to the next step. All of the content is already professionally written for you and ready for you to use. It's completely customizable, but you don't have to change anything unless you want to. This includes a frequently asked questions section with answers pre-written for you. And again, you can change any of this if you like. There's a lead capture form with well thought out questions that saves you tons of time because it collects all the information you need. It's an intelligent lead capture form because it has conditional questions built in. The questions on the form change depending on the answers the seller gives, just as they would if you were talking to them on the phone. For example, one question is, do you have a mortgage on this property? If they say no, it moves on to other things. But if they say yes, more questions automatically appear to ask them details about the mortgage. What's the first mortgage balance? What's the monthly payment? And so on. All the details you would have to ask them. You get all the information you need, but the seller doesn't have to get annoyed answering questions that don't apply to them, or feel overwhelmed and scared off by an enormously long form to fill out. It's win-win. Now what happens with all that information once the seller submits it? 1. You get an email with all the details. 2. This information is stored in a database on your website. Log it in any time and it's all right there. You don't have to worry about missing an email or losing a paper. This is also really cool. A mailing list feature for an email newsletter is built right into your website. If you're already using a service like Aweber, MailChimp, Constant Contact, etc., those are compatible too. But if you don't already have one of those services, you don't have to go out and get it. It's built right into your site from the get-go. This one feature alone saves you that extra $20 a month. Okay, so the seller fills out the form, you get the lead. You want to know where the property is. This is awesome. Based on the seller's address that they filled out on the form, it automatically links to a map on Google Maps. One click and there it is. I love that. You can also add notes to each lead to keep track of follow-up conversations you've had, right from your website. Here's the wholesale buyer site, also professionally designed to give you that trustworthy appearance. This is a one-page landing page with a video and contact form. There's no menu at the top or any links to anything else, so you won't distract these buyers. You just want them to send you their contact information so you can put them on your buyers list. The contact form asks what kind of properties they're looking for and what exit strategies they're using. You find out exactly what you need to know so you can find deals your buyers want to buy. You don't have to guess. When you get deals under contract and want to show them to your buyers, you can easily list them on your website with pictures, walkthrough video, and any other details you want. It can automatically add a map for you based on the address if you want. Here's your rent-to-own buyer site if you're doing lease options. This is a landing page, one page only. It only has one thing they can do, and that's contact you. All of the content is written for you to show people how you can help them get into a home. The contact form lets them tell you what they're looking for and even how much money they have for a down payment and what they can afford for a monthly payment. Important details you need to know. Property listings for rent-to-own buyers is the same as what we already saw. That saves you the hassle of showing houses to semi-interested clients. They can take a tour right there. You also get pages for buying commercial properties and land. These include contact forms that are specific to these types of investing. These sites are mobile friendly. SEO tools are built in. You can start blogging from the moment you sign up. And if you happen to think of anything else specific to you, it's easy to add your own pages to suit any need. It's designed to have all the sites and investor needs in one place, so you don't have to pay for multiple sites to be set up. If your needs change, this site grows with your business. You don't have to pay extra to start using the other sites in the future. But it's still priced lower than even one of these sites would normally cost, because I don't want price to be a barrier or hold anyone back from increasing their profits with such a powerful tool. So, how much is it? Years ago, I would have and did charge $797 and up for only one of these 6 sites we've seen. But because of recent advances in technology, it doesn't cost as much for me to set up a site now. And I'm so excited to pass that savings on to you. In truth, these sites are much better than the ones I used to sell for $797. They're also much better than other similar sites on the market today that are going for $499. Not to mention a less professional appearance than what's included for you here today. When I was starting out, that was too much for me, and I wanted to make this complete solution available for all investors. That's why it's priced at only $197 plus $37 a month. This is an awesome deal. What's included for that $37 a month? I had a guy tell me once, I can go to HostGator and get hosting for $12 a month. This monthly fee is too high. Well, that's true. You can probably get hosting for as low as $12 a month. What he didn't understand was there's a lot more to consider than just hosting if you want to do it yourself. Let's say you go get hosting for $12 a month. That means if something goes wrong with your site, you're going to have to fix it. And you're on your own for figuring out how to use it. Then add on one of the cheaper email management systems for $19 a month. One thing most people overlook is that you have to pay for software upgrades and updates on your site. Then once you buy the upgrade, you still have to spend your own time doing the actual updates to the site or pay someone else top dollar to do it for you. If you don't keep everything up to date on your website, things stop working, hackers can get in and destroy your site. This is an expense that most people overlook. So what are we up to now? If you're super techy and you do it completely on your own and your time is valued at $0, we're up to $56 a month. The real do-it-yourself cost is higher, but for argument's sake, let's just say at least $56 a month. But this professional, worry-free, hassle-free solution is only $37 a month, and the value keeps going up. For this low price, you get all this, plus anytime you need help figuring out how to do something on your site or you have questions, you get rock-solid support. You get access to updated training videos that you can watch at your leisure, a $99 a month value. Site maintenance is 100% managed for you. Most people don't realize websites need regular maintenance to run smoothly and work properly. Unless you're a programmer, you would have to hire someone to do this. But here it's included, so you're completely worry-free. Site security is a big concern today. If hackers get into your site, they can destroy it, or even get you into trouble. We take your security seriously and have systems in place that we monitor to keep your site secure. There is zero risk to you. If you're not 100% satisfied, we offer a 60-day, 100% money-back guarantee. No other service available on the market today is offering this, but we're so confident that you'll love this, we guarantee it. There's no contract. You can cancel at any time. I don't know about you, but I hate being locked into contracts. I prefer to keep a service because I like the service, not because I'm forced to. And I want you to feel the same way. I know you'll love these sites, so there's no need for a contract. If you order today, you also get our price lock guarantee. Your pricing is locked in. For all price increases in the future, you keep the same low price you see here today. Order now and you'll get all of this for one low price. And when you order today, you're locked in at this low price for as long as you keep the site. Your satisfaction is 100% guaranteed. Don't delay. Click the Order Now button to order your site now. I look forward to working with you.